Welcome to Ope, I Found a Weird Show. I'm Laura,
I'm Beans.
And I'm Lauren.
and we are continuing our recap of season 2 of the TV show From. Today we have episode 8, Forest for the Trees. So this episode starts with Kenny and Tian Chen in the kitchen at their house. She is cooking at the stove and he kind of asks like where's the family, but they're still sleeping. So Kenny asks if he can help and he goes to set the table and the phone rings. That's new. That's never happened before. And both Kenny and Tian Chen stare at it for a minute because they're like, what? And she tells him, like, you should answer it. So he picks it up, and there's a bunch of static. Then a voice says, they touch, they break, they steal. No one here is free. Here they come for 3, unless you stop the melody. So
And stopping the melody is like the music box, right? Can we
I would
can we just
assume.
assume?
I would assume. Well, because I mean, even Marvin was like, you got the as soon as the music stops, that's bad.
Well, and it said what, like they come for 3 unless you stop the melody. So how many people now have had the dreams of the music box? Isn't he the third?
He is
Not
the
counting
third
Boyd.
so far.
I mean like after Boyd passed on the thingies.
Yeah.
Because Mary, Elgin,
Mary has
and
it.
now Kenny.
Yeah. So I'm like, are these the 3 people that will, like, I guess we can assume will die if they don't figure out a way to stop it?
Yeah, I don't
Save
know
them.
yet.
Good boy, Kenny.
Right?
Yeah.
Not Kenny.
I care about Kenny and Elgin. Mary.
We could pass.
I don't dislike her, but she's not she's not wormed her way into my heart at any point yet. So we'll see.
Yeah, that's fair. So it starts to repeat, and Kenny hangs up. Then he hears a buzzing from the stove, and the pot that Tian Chen was cooking in is full of cicadas. And the music box also shows up and starts playing. Kenny goes over to the pot, and one of the bugs jumps out on his arm. Tian Chen shakes him awake, so he's dreaming, and he reassures her, like, it's all right, but he has a burn on his arm where the cicada was, like, touched him in the dream.
And this is super concerning, seeing as, like, these dreams have been pretty violent so far.
Yeah.
And it just makes me wonder if Mary hadn't woken up before, like, she was attacked by Mr. Smiley, would she have been, like, dead in real life? Like, I'm assuming he wouldn't have just, like, hit her. Usually those things, like, rip out throats or something. So, like, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's unsure. But glad she woke up in time. Because even though I don't love Mary, I'm not trying to watch nobody get the throat ripped out, anytime soon. I don't know.
No, we
I'm
don't need
watching
any
the
like
show then.
no, and we don't need any Freddy Krueger deaths.
Yeah. No Dream Warriors happening here, please.
We've got enough shit to be worried about.
Yeah, speaking of shit to be worried about, back at the RV, Jim and Randall are working on setting up the radio.
Oh my god.
Or RIM. And Randall asked Jim, what's the point of all this? Let's say it's one big experiment. What's it for? And Jim says there's a lot of value in seeing how far you can push people before they break, which is true. Look at Sarah, for instance. And Randall says to Jim that he is more restrained, or he has more restraint. So Jim has more restraint than Randall does. Well, yeah. I mean, Jim is not very restrained, but even he, I don't know that there's anybody who has less restraint than Randall at this point.
Yeah, I don't think Randall knows that word.
Yeah. But Jim counters that he isn't going to let this place turn him into something he's not. And
as it does that daily.
Right? Yeah, I'm like, Jim, have you looked in the mirror lately when you yelled at your wife? No.
Well, and I also think that it is something that he's not as aware of, because like a lot of these people have been doing like pretty abrupt changes, like they start seeing visions, and so it's just like a holy shit moment. But like for Jim, it's a very like slow burn change, so he's just not as aware that he is a completely different person from day one.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
He needs to see some visions and get his shit together.
Right?
Or just shut up, you know?
Shut up, Jim.
Well, Randall says the least surprising shit ever. He says if they want to break people, he has some ex-girlfriends they can hire. I bet his ex-girlfriends are crazy because they decided to date him. Like,
He's definitely the guy that says all of his exes are crazy, but he is the crazy
oh,
one who drove them that way.
absolutely. Yeah, 100%.
I
So,
heard a funny piece of advice, from my mom, ironically. She says, "Be wary of the man who says all of his exes are crazy, because at that point, there's only one common denominator."
Yep.
yep, yes. So they take the drone with the antenna attached up in the air. The drone doesn't go as high as Jim thought it would. It's like inches off the ground. I mean, it's higher
I
than inches, but it was kind of ridiculous.
what was it that someone said? It's like 2 gyms stacked on
Yeah,
top of each other. Uh,
yeah, it was not. This is not going to get them over the tree line. Uh, Randall asks if this works, why would the people running the experiment want to talk to him? And Jim says, well, they already did once. But Randall counters to help or to mess with you. And Jim tells him, you don't have to help. Like, you don't have to, be part of this. But Randall, just reiterates that if there was someone out here who wanted to help, they would have already. And Randall wants to look at the people in here with them. For something this big, there has to be someone on the inside. He's not wrong. If this was
no.
truly an experiment, there would be people on the inside. But Jim tells him, be careful accusing people. And Randall asks him, who laid out the rules when you got here? Well, Donna and Boyd and Father Kotry. And Jim tells him what happened to Father Kotry, because Father Kotry died before the bus got here. And Randall asks if did you see the death? He is obsessed with seeing things. Did you see the death? And Jim's, no, I wasn't there.
Well, and he's definitely seen a lot of movies where it's like, if you didn't see the body, they're not really dead.
Right.
And he's taken that very, very far.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And well, even he saw some of the bodies and he's like, nah, I don't trust it.
Those were fake.
Yeah, yeah. And so Randall asks him, of all the people who have died, how many times have you actually seen it happen? What if the people these monsters are killing are all in on it? It's a great way to scare people. Maybe that's why it's important to keep the blinds down. Jim is like, no. What about Brick and Tom? And he's like, well, did you actually see it? And he, because he was further down under the house. And Randall's like, "Look, I saw the bodies the next day, but I didn't get close enough to see if it was real." Well, you wanna see shit so much, go look at it then.
Right. It's like, just because you didn't get close enough to, like, go look next time, because there's going to be a next time. Let's be real.
Yeah,
And also, he lives in a fishbowl. Like,
right.
just watch all night.
Nobody's died in
Or,
front of him yet.
or if he's really so tempted to test out science, go outside.
Yep.
You think it's fake?
Yeah.
Go outside, buddy.
And he keeps going, where is the proof that anyone dies? And Jim's like, Nathan, Sarah killed him. And Randall's, well, what if she didn't? Randall says, imagine that I'm right. It means one of two things. Everyone that dies is in on it, or they push. So, like, they either pushed Sarah so far she killed her brother, or the whole Nathan thing was all for show, sir.
Grab
So,
your 10 hats, ladies.
yeah, Randall, not a fan.
And I thought I
Um,
was crazy about the weather.
Hmm.
yeah, at least your theory's not like everybody in here, it's all a plot. You're like the weather though, guys. Check out the weather. You're just much safer. At the sheriff's station, Sarah walks in to talk to Boyd. She tells him she wants to go back out into the forest. She says she'll, pack a bag and take a talisman. What if he was right and the answers are out there, but they didn't go out far enough? He says they went far enough that whatever is out there put them back here. And Sarah asks, so we should just give up now? People, need him here. He shouldn't be out there, but she can do it. And he asks her, well, why do you want to go out there? She says, look, I just want to help. And he's like, sure, but that's not like really why you want to leave. And so she says, there isn't a place for me here. No one wants me here. And they're right. Yeah, like, but
We
this is
love a
something,
self-aware queen.
right? But she says, this is something I can do, right? I can go out there and I can put myself on the line. And Boyd says there's a difference between going out there and running away. Leaving would be easy, but we don't get to do easy anymore. And Sarah says she can't just sit in the church anymore. There's nothing for her to do and nowhere for her to go. And Boyd says, that's a problem that we can talk about fixing. But like, it's like it's cool for Boyd when he wants to go out on a walkabout, but nobody
He's
Mhm.
else.
special.
I know.
Everybody is special, but especially Boyd.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh, he he sure thinks so. Uh, Jade and Tabitha are out in the forest. I love them together. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, like
absolutely.
I love them like when she's yelling at him, and I love it when they're working together.
Yes.
Also, I just have to say this right now. So yes, Jade has changed to a different shirt, right? But put them titties away, man. Like that shirt, I feel like that shirt gets lower and lower every
He
time.
look, Jade knows what his assets are, and he's using them.
I mean, then it's getting colder. Like, sir. Anyway, so she shows him where the monster cave entrance is. That's where she saw the symbol and the children for the first time and the sleepy monsters. And Jade says, this has to mean something. And he brings up chaos theory. How you doing, sexy Jeff Goldblum? All I can think of
Right?
when I think of chaos theory is Jurassic Park. Maybe that's why he's got that shirt unbuttoned. He's channeling sexy Jeff Goldblum too.
I think that's exactly what it is.
So he explains like a butterfly flaps its wings in Wyoming, and a month later there's a tsunami in Japan. On the surface, the two events appear entirely unrelated, but in reality, there's an intricate set of connections. And Tabitha asks, what the fuck are you talking about? And Jade says, this isn't an accident. They just need more information to see how they are connected. And Tabitha's like, look, I'm not going back in there. Nope, I'm not going back in there. And Jade says you would have to be crazy, but he has a little bit of a light bulb moment, and he asks if Victor saw the symbol, and Tabitha says, well, of course he did. He was the one who pointed it out. And Jade gets super mad because he asked Victor and he like left information out, and now Jade's mad. And he says, in the Venn diagram of crazy they have seen, there is one overlap. And that's our boy Victor.
And
Poor
I can
Victor.
understand, but, like, I do understand why Jade is pissed, because like, there's one person in this town that has information, and he's just not sharing it, and it's not even, like, always I mean, sometimes it can be related to, like, the memory loss, but sometimes he just flat out lies, or
Yeah.
is just like, "I don't wanna talk about it, so I'm gonna walk away now." It's like, "No, I need the information because I wanna get out of here. I
Well,
wanna
and
go home."
I do think like part of the issue, and we'll see that a little bit later, is Jade's approach. Like he is almost always he's getting better. Look, I will give him that. He is
Yes.
calming down. He's apologizing when he outbursts and things like that. But his approach is pretty aggressive, and Victor is never going to respond well to that.
No, but also, like, we've seen other characters ask Victor things, and he's always been cagey about it. So, like, granted,
He he has been, but he very much gives off the "I have the mind of a child,"
yeah,
and you kinda have to talk to him like that. And it's hard because he has the body of what looks like a older 40s, early 50s man.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's kind of like I think that if you approach him right, you can probably get more out of him, but you have to be sincere with it.
Mhm.
Whereas if you were just coming to him and you're like, I want information, he's never going to respond well to that. But I mean, and we'll talk about it a little bit later. It's not beneficial to him to share this information, you know? So, like, why would he? Is kind of probably part of his mindset.
Yeah.
So we cut to Victor, which I love the transition here. There's like one thing that overlaps. Here's Victor, walking up to Kenny's house, and Julie answers, and Victor asks if Ethan is home. Julie calls for him, and Victor decides to wait outside. Julie takes a moment and thanks Victor for saving her at the colony house, and Victor just okay. Ethan comes down. Victor brought him something. For some reason, Victor does not want to go in that house.
Mhm.
You know, like because Ethan kind of invites him in, and he's like, no, you got to come out here. So I'm eyeballing that house.
I
Um,
I think that was his house.
could be,
I think so too. I think that with that, like, that is his house.
yeah. So he tells Ethan to come outside to try it on. It's a coat. It's Victor's old coat. It's getting cold, and Ethan is gonna need a coat soon. And Ethan tries it on, and then he gives him a picture that he drew him. And Victor says, I don't want it. It's a picture of Ethan. And Ethan asks why. And Victor says, because pictures are for things that are gone. And Ethan asks, but what if something happens to me? He,
Wild question,
he,
Ethan.
but he follows it up with, you forget a lot of stuff, and I don't want you to forget me.
Yeah, but it's still just
It was
like you
so
could just be
cute
like,
though.
well, the pictures don't have to only be about things that are lost. They can be about like loving the things that are currently here. But no, he's just like, what if I'm gone? You gonna miss me
What
when I'm
then?
gone?
Mhm.
I don't want you
It's
to
like,
forget
oh
me.
shit. Okay,
We were
buddy.
besties. You better remember me forever, ever, Victor. Uh, and Victor's like, don't talk like that, and tries to give the picture back. And Ethan says, if he doesn't keep the picture, then he doesn't want the coat. So Victor keeps it, and Julie joins them, and they all head over to where they were headed off to, which is the diner to go help Tien Chen. But yeah, I love that like Ethan's like, yeah, but like, what if something happens to me? Also, you better take that picture. I'm not taking this coat. What you gonna do about it?
Mhm.
Again, it's like another person learning from Victor how to get their way. You want something? Okay. Well, you got to do this too. Like, nothing's for free.
Right?
You can't even give gifts for free anymore. You got to take a gift in return.
Mhm. Hauntingly
So,
familiar to our friend group.
yes, but this is also Victor. Yeah, this is also Victor kind of apologizing a little bit for like some of the rift that they've had. You
Yeah.
know, kind of trying to put out an olive branch. So I love this for them. We love when these two boys are happy with each other.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So at Colony House, Boyd is giving Ellis hell for being out of bed. Because again, remember, he just got stabbed by Dale, not that last episode. And Ellis says, I'm feeling great. And Boyd asks, did Christy check you over? And Ellis tells him, yeah, she's more surprised than you are that I'm healing so well. Again, mystery magic healy things, maybe.
That's what I think.
Or Ellis is just so hyped on finding out that Fatima is pregnant that he's like, ain't nothing gonna stop me now, man.
Mhm.
Stab wound? Who needs a stab wound? I'm going to be a dad.
And Boyd asks about Dale. Donna has him locked up in his room, and everything is fine. Boyd asks Ellis, what are you smiling about? And Ellis says, I have some news. But Donna pops in to see Boyd because Boyd was looking for her, and Ellis tells him like, I'll tell you later. So he was gonna tell him that he was gonna be a grandpa.
It stresses me out when people don't share information and are just like, I'll tell you later. Because I'm like, what's going to happen?
No.
What's going to
Tell
stop you
me
from
now.
telling him later?
Is
Which one
there
he's going to
is there
die?
a later?
Is there a later? I don't
I think
know.
this is why I have anxiety when people are like, "Oh, I'll tell you later." No, because you might die.
Nah.
TV has taught me everyone is going to die before they can tell me their news.
Exactly.
So Donna and Boyd go into another room. Um, they are like part way through a conversation, and Donna asks him if he's out of his mind. She doesn't need to deal with this today. Boyd says he isn't asking Donna to let her stay here, just throw him a bone and give her something to do. So they're talking about Sarah clearly.
Yeah.
And she says, fine. but they have bigger problems right now. Also that she has a headache, and I will bring this up multiple times throughout the episode.
Yeah,
She's
she
like,
does have a headache
"God,
constantly.
yeah,
And
this is a rough
that
day."
also made me uneasy because I was like, "Is something in her head too?"
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
That's why I was, like, stressed about her headache because it was like it gets brought up multiple times. So I'm like,
It gets brought
Yeah.
up so
What's
much,
wrong? What's
which
wrong?"
also yeah, it, like, made me think of Hill House when the mom had headaches constantly, and that
Mm.
was a whole thing.
Yeah.
But yes.
So yeah. So this is our first hearing of the headache. She says fine, or like I said, she says fine, but we have bigger problems right now. A house full of people on their last nerve, a madman locked in the bedroom, and last night Elgin almost drowned in his sleep.
Which is a what?
Yeah, which
What do you
Bo-
mean?
Boyd very much gave a look to that one, like, excuse me.
Hold on.
Um, so immediately Boyd goes to talk to Elgin. Elgin is crocheting with some yarn he found in the closet. This place is not so bad. They got yarn. I'm cool. I could come hang. Um, and
Easy to please there.
I love that he's doing this too because it was like his thing he did with his grandma.
Yeah,
And yeah, and it's a comfort.
cute.
Yeah. So Elgin tells Boyd about the nightmare that something pushed him under the water. But luckily someone shook him awake and he started spitting up water. And Boyd asks him, like, did you tell anyone what happened at the clinic? And Elgin lies and says he didn't.
I don't know how to feel about that.
I wouldn't tell Boyd either.
I know, but it's still just like, it's communication, and like I feel like it's gonna come back to bite or
It's
Julie.
possible. Yeah. But I would not tell Boyd.
Yeah, yeah, I probably wouldn't either. Be like, no, I'm not a snitch. I didn't say anything.
Right? I'm not a snitch. Boyd tells him that they got something out of the monster that might help. And he mentions they just got to figure out how to get the poison into the monster. And Elgin says, like, why not make some silver bullets? Smart. That's so smart. So at the diner, Julie, Ethan, and Victor are helping Tien Chen organize the dishes and like set up for dinner. And Ethan is telling Victor about the internet, and Victor doesn't believe him. He's been here so long.
Yeah.
So Victor goes to help carry some food out. When Ethan ends up looking in one of his coat pockets and finds this like crayon figure, and he, takes it over to Victor when he comes out, and he asks him what it is, and Victor is like super surprised to see it. And Ethan hands it over, and Victor remembers something. So we cut to a scene of Victor as a child, and his mom is handing him the figure and some crayons. And they're down in like that root cellar where Jade had his first vision. And she tells him, you need to be brave. But that's like all we get. And then we're back to the present, and Jade bursts into the diner with Tabitha following him. Jade is pissed. And Victor tries to leave because, like, one, he just had a vision. He just had a memory come back of his mom. And, like, he ain't got time for this, Jade. Uh, but Jade's not having it. And he grabs him up. And, he's like, I'm mad that you didn't come through on your part of the deal. I played for you, Victor. But, Victor, you didn't tell me everything you knew about the symbol. Julie from the background is like, leave him alone. Which, yeah, I would be there. I would. Yep, you leave that sweet baby boy alone. Um, Victor says he told him about the symbol, and Jade says you didn't tell me that you saw it on the walls in the tunnel. And Tabitha tells Jade to relax and tells Victor like we just want to talk. And he's like, I gotta go. And he heads out the door. And Ethan's like, what tunnels? And and Julie's like, what's going on? And Tabitha tells him, stay at the diner. And she follows Jade and Victor out. And Jade keeps yelling at Victor to give him a reason. He wouldn't tell him about the symbols he saw in the walls in the tunnel. And Victor says it's not important. And Jade grabs him again and says, like, I'm done fucking around. You don't get to pick and choose what you tell us. You have to tell us everything you know and have seen. It all matters, and it's how we can get home. And Jade asks him, isn't that what you want, to go home? And Victor says, this is my home. And he walks off. Damn.
I mean, that was one of my earlier theories of, like, he might not know anywhere but this town. Like, this might
Yeah,
have been his home before it became Demonland.
that's true.
Or he was
That
born
is
here. I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, even if he was, that is a possibility. But even if he wasn't, he was here from like 9, 7, 8, 9,
Yeah.
young age, and he is 40, like late 40s probably, and that's a long time. That makes I could see this like, look, I know it's Demon Land, but it's the Demon Land I got,
Right.
Right.
it's all
I
I
don't need the
know.
internet.
Yeah, I don't need your crazy new world. So then Tabitha yells at Jade and she says, "Is it just physically impossible for you not to be an asshole for longer than 10 minutes?" And Jade
I think the answer
replies,
is yes.
yeah, he's like, "Great, you're yelling at me again. That didn't take very long."
Didn't take long for you to be an asshole again, so there you go.
Right? You
Yep.
don't want to get yelled at, don't deserve getting yelled at. So Tabitha storms off and goes after Victor. And Sarah is at the church, and Jim and Randall come in. And Jim says they have a few questions for her. They start asking her things like, where she and Nathan were going, back to Boston, and where were they coming from? And she's like, "What's going on here?" And Jim says, "Well, we're looking for patterns of how people ended up here." So she says, "Okay, Pennsylvania." And, you know, Nathan came to bring her back home from a bad situation there. And Randall asks her, were you and Nathan close? And she says, "Yeah, he was my best friend." And Jim brings up the day at the barn. And she's like, "I don't want to talk about this." And he tells her that he knows she didn't want to hurt Ethan. And what this place did to her isn't fair. And Randall, the ever couth individual, cuts in with, "Is your brother still alive?"
Bruh.
Yeah, sir. So Sarah is shocked, and Randall's like, "It's a simple fucking question."
He has
And
such great tact.
yeah, yeah. And Jim's like, "Ease up. Like, we gotta be gentle here." And then Donna comes in.
Saved
And
by the
she wants,
Donna.
right? Though Randall's like, "Excuse me, see, it's all proof. It's all proof of my theory." He's like a really, really awful version of Jade. There are all connections here. But like in the worst way. We love Jade so much more. Even though they're both assholes, there's a difference.
There
Mhm.
is.
So Donna wants to know what's going on, and Randall starts laughing and saying it's convenient that she showed up out of nowhere the moment they start asking questions.
Really bad timing, Donna.
I know. But I think it I don't know where that would have gone with Sarah. She'd have had a fucking breakdown.
Yeah, no, I don't think they should have been left with her at all, but I'm just saying, shit, that timing is suspect if
Mhm.
we're feeding into their delusions.
Yeah, absolutely. But Donna is confused, like what he's even talking about. And Jim like shuts him down a bit, and Donna talks to Sarah. She brought a basket of clothes that need mending because Boyd said she wanted to be helpful. She sets down the basket and she tells Jim and Randall to get the fuck out.
Get out of here.
And Randall asks, who does she think she is? She thinks she's some kind of big shot with little power, and he like gets in her face and he tells her, "You're a fucking toll booth operator." And Donna tells him he's gonna want to leave right now. And Jim comes up and he's like, "Everything's fine." And he gets Randall to leave with him. And Donna asks Sarah if she's all right. And Sarah asks, like, why were they talking about Nathan and why do they think he's alive? And Donna is not pleased. So, which fair? Like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
Um, just wild. Both these men are delusional.
And like I just keep going back to like, okay, they have this theory that everything is an experiment. Okay, that's fine. You can have your theories, but like then you sit down and then you've got to list out, okay, here's all the weird shit that has happened since I've gotten here. Here's the thing that someone has mentioned, like just offhandedly mentioned. Let's go through the list, let's write it out. Let's go through each and every single one of these and say, how could this have been faked? Or like, let's go test it. So like my daughter said she went into a tree and teleported. Let me go get in a tree and see if that, like, go test it out. Don't just be like, oh, okay, this is my theory. It must be true.
Yeah. No,
I don't
that's a
like your
very good
theory.
point.
It doesn't play by the rules of science. I don't like your theory. I'm gonna ignore it.
Right,
It
and
doesn't it's not it doesn't make sense.
that's such a good point about the trees too, that they have never gone and investigated this. Now,
Right?
Julie has been through a tree, Boyd has been through a tree, multiple people know about these damn trees. Go
Yeah,
look into this.
they were just like, "Okay, whatever," and moved on. They moved on way too quickly.
I would be
Mhm.
obsessed.
Go find the goddamn trees.
You couldn't get me away from those trees other than nighttime. I'd be throwing all the rocks in there with all the different colored smiley faces to figure out a pattern.
Well,
Like,
and if he really doesn't believe they're true, like, okay, yeah, I can throw a rock in and, like, maybe someone is watching, saw what color it was, did a smiley face real quick, and, like, threw it somewhere. Like, sure, you could do that. Then get in the tree yourself.
yeah, I'm not getting in that tree. I can tell
I'm
you that
not,
much.
but I'm
There's no
telling
way.
Jim to get in that tree because I might hope he gets stuck in a mountain somewhere if he's being this dumb. Go
Fair.
test it, buddy.
Yeah. Oof. Outside, Jim asks Randall, what was that all that about? And Randall asks, do you want to figure this thing out or be everybody's friend? And Jim says, you saw the look on Sarah's face when we asked her about Nathan. She doesn't know anything. And Randall says, yeah, but Donna might. And Jim, again, is like, we can't go around assuming things like that.
I
And
have to
Jim,
give sorry, I was just gonna say I have to give Jim, like, a little bit of kudos for being the sane one of the 2 and just being like, "Okay, we need to do this with a little bit more finesse, like, we can't just go
Mhm.
around accusing people or just, like, scaring the shit out of people, like, we gotta do some sleuthing beforehand." But I think he's also realizing I picked a psychopath for this
I
because
picked the
there's
wrong
no controlling
partner.
him.
100%. Jim is like, damn it.
Yeah,
Where's
he's like
Jade?
right, I miss Jade. Shit.
Ah, yeah. So Jim says, like, we need to watch. And he suggests that they go to the RV to watch the monsters when they don't know they're being watched. Because, like, even though Randall can watch them all night, they know they're being watched from the bus. So back at the diner, Jim comes in and asks the kids where Tabitha is. They give him the scoop on what happened with Victor and Jade, and Jim tells Julie that he won't be home tonight. He has an idea that might help them get home, because he loves to say that, and he just needs some time to figure it out. He'll be fine. He's got a talisman, and will be inside the RV.
This whole ass man keeps treating this whole situation like a connect the dot puzzle when it's a Rubik's Cube.
Yeah.
Like, I
He's
need
like,
you to
this one
stop
little
thinking it's
thing.
so simple. I need you to think that maybe if you really think that it's gonna be like a series of events that causes this, that it's a chain reaction and not just, "Oh, I connected 33 and 34. We're going home now."
No, absolutely. He's very simple-minded in that way. Where he and you would think he's an engineer, he builds roller coasters. He understands that it's not just like a simple thing, that there
Mhm.
are a lot of aspects to everything. But instead he's like, "Ooh, this one idea might get us home. Ooh, this one idea might get us home." No, it's probably a lot of stuff.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Shut up, Jim.
Shut up, Jim.
Uh, he tells her, "I'm telling you this so that you don't worry." Okay. Which well, good luck with that. But like also if you didn't tell her, that would have been awful too.
Well,
And
it kinda would've been like the Boyd thing.
yeah. Oof. So and then also so that she can tell Tabitha. And she tells him to be careful and they hug. And Jim leaves the diner and Donna comes up and asks if they can have a word. And she asks if he's some kind of moron. Donna, we're all wondering. Uh
If we all think so at this point, yes. That's the
yes.
only explanation.
And she asks him, "What is wrong with you?" And Jim says, he's looking for answers just like everyone else. And Donna asks him by taunting Sarah. And he says, like, he tried to talk to her about this. And she asks if is this about stupid voice on the radio again? And Jim asks why she acts like it's strange. He doesn't want to let it go, which okay. I get it. That I would probably not wanna let this go either, because
Yeah.
it was a weird thing that happened, and I would probably hyper obsess too. So, like, I get you, Jim, and I would be annoyed with Donna.
We hear you, we just don't like you.
Yeah,
We
a
hear
broken clock.
you. We see you, but some of the stuff that comes out of your mouth isn't valid.
Right.
Some, most. Meh.
No, I'm trying to be nice. We're
I'm past that. Get out of here.
So she asks him if he told Randall about this. That guy is a powder keg. And if Jim starts putting ideas in his head, and Jim lies and says that he didn't tell him, everybody be lying this episode.
Yeah, it went from, like, straight up just, like, not telling people to, let me just lie to your face.
Yeah. And then Jim says, like, I get it. Talking to Sarah was stupid. We all just want to go home. And Jim walks off, and we see that Randall has been watching this interaction from the top of the bus. Which,
Sneaky.
yep.
Lurker.
Yeah, I don't love that I don't love that he can see everything. I need him to see less.
I need him to be blinded or something. Like, stick him in a hole somewhere. Why doesn't he get in a tree?
I would just say
Right?
put him in the tree so he can be in the well.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Back at Colony House, Victor is up in his room thinking about the memory, and we see a bit more. His mom is telling him to be brave and that everything is going to be okay. Just draw your pictures, and no matter what happens, don't come out until morning. And they hug, and then she leaves and closes the door to the root cellar. And baby Victor clutches his lunchbox and crayons and sits down against the wall.
Well,
In the I know. In the present, Tabitha knocks on his door and he lets her in, which, yeah, I mean, like, they've got a connection now that he's, like, saved her and she's been so nice.
mhm.
And she thanks him for giving Ethan the coat, and she picks up the little crayon figure thing, and he asks for it back, and he tells her that he hasn't seen it in a long time. And she asks him, why didn't you tell Jade about the symbols that we saw in the tunnel? And Victor says, because it's not good to ask questions.
Hmm.
Yeah, we disagree. In this group we disagree, but
Mhm.
I get why Victor is traumatized by a million things. And he continues on that people shouldn't go looking for answers. Again, disagree. Hard disagree. Um, Tabitha asks why not, and Victor tells her because they don't come back. See, I feel like Victor likes Jade
Yeah.
because he doesn't, he wants him to come back. Um,
Yeah. I think you wouldn't have asked him to play the violin if he didn't
yeah.
like him to an extent. He might not love him because Jade is Jade, but
Look,
yeah.
they're no Ethan and Victor, but
No, there's no
like,
Ethan and Victor
and
besides
he's
them.
on the Victor likes people hierarchy. Jade is nowhere near Victor or Ethan. Jade is nowhere near Tabitha. But he's also like higher up than some of the other folks.
Yeah, Jim.
Yeah.
I
Oh
was just
gosh.
thinking Jim's at the bottom of that list.
Yep.
Yeah. And Tabitha counters that looking for answers is their only way out. And Victor tells her um like there are things, or that he doesn't think that there is a way out. And Tabitha tells him she knows he's afraid that bad things might happen, but bad things happen here no matter what. If he knows something that could help, and Victor tells her that his mother said they were going home the night the bad things happened. Tabitha is encouraged, but Victor says he doesn't remember, but the pictures might. And Tabitha says the pictures were inside the house when it collapsed. But Victor tells her, no, 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 not those pictures. He hid those pictures, or like these pictures that he's talking about, so he would never have to look at them or remember, or so
Hmm.
that no one else would have to die. Poor Victor. What's in the
Sweet
Crying.
pictures?
baby.
I'm not crying.
I know, man. Yeah, this is a rough episode for Victor. So Boyd goes to Kenny's house, and he's there to like talk to him about the bullets, but he sees the burn on his arm, and he asks him like, "Hey, what happened?" And Kenny tells him like, "Oh, I managed to burn myself in my sleep." And Boyd's like, okay."
Hold up.
And does
Wait a minute.
Yeah, but doesn't elaborate more. But he does tell Kenny about Elgin's silver bullet idea. Coat the bullets in the vial and shoot from a safe distance and see what happens. So they head to the clinic to get the rest of the vial. When they get there, Christy is comforting Mary. Mary is freaking out. Withdrawals, but something has happened. Something downstairs where Smiley's dead body is. there was a sound from the boiler room. This just happened, so no one has checked it out yet. And they hear some rustling from, like, they're up at the top of the stairs and they hear some rustling. And sorry, Kenny and Boyd go downstairs and they hear some rustling before they get to the door. And Boyd tells Kenny to go upstairs, but he's like, no. And they go inside and they see squirming under the blanket over the monster.
Yuck.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, no, thank you. Boyd goes over and flips the blanket to see a bunch of cicadas all over the body. They freak out, rightfully so. 'Cause it was gross. It was real gross. But, like, again, I can't remember which one of you was talking about it, that was the thing in the blood not wormies, but larva?
Me.
Yeah. So, like, maybe? I mean, 'cause these had to come from somewhere, right? So,
And
because they couldn't feed
when
on
they're under the
blood.
skin, when they were under Boyd's skin, they didn't exactly give off, like, a worm shape, right? I mean, without seeing it, how else would you know? But, like, now that I've seen bugs, I'm like, maybe they weren't worms. Maybe they were, like, larvae for yuck.
No, very fair. So they head back upstairs, and Kenny tells them about his dream, the buzzing, the cicadas. Christy brings up Elgin's dream and his drowning in real life. And now Kenny had his dream of the cicadas. And Kenny also tells them about the music box playing and one of them jumping on his arm and shows them his burn. And Mary freaks out because since when can their dreams hurt them? Yeah, for some Freddy Krueger stuff that we don't need. We don't need no Freddy Krueger. So at this moment, Donna comes in looking for some medicine for that headache, but finds an even bigger one. She said, I have a headache, but now you bastards are always up to something. I would be so exasperated if I was Donna.
Honestly.
She's always walking in going, what are you doing? What now? So Victor and Tabitha head out to the cars. And Victor walks up to his mom and he like touches it. And it's to get strength because he's scared. And he tells Tabitha that she's a nice lady and that Ethan is his friend and he wants to help, but he's afraid to remember. And Tabitha tells him she needs him to be brave, and he tells her that's what his mom said to him that night. Aw,
I'm not
Tabitha is
crying,
a
you
good
are.
mom.
Uh,
This is some good parenting to not your children. Uh,
which is what the show is all about. We've already established that.
yes, you can only be a good parent to kids that are not yours. So back at the clinic, now Donna knows what's going on, and she is pissed that Boyd didn't tell her about what happened. They have like a little argument that, she isn't just anyone, and he should have told her, and he was talking to her in her face, asking about stuff for Sarah, but he didn't bring up that they had a monster in the basement.
Agree with her. She's not just anyone. She's one of the
Mhm.
co-leaders of this place. Like, what the
Mm-hmm.
hell were you thinking, Boyd?
Yeah.
She can
Well, and
keep a secret?
it's another in this same room. It's another argument. It doesn't go as far, but it's another argument that like the one he had with Kenny, where it's like, I was gonna tell you when. When were you gonna tell me? No, you weren't.
Exactly.
You were only gonna tell once you got caught.
Yeah. So he apologizes and they go in to look at it, but the bugs are all gone. And Donna says they probably scattered, but Boyd is like, no, we closed the door. So where are they?
We're in the vents.
Yeah.
Ugh,
So,
no.
so Donna tells him, like, you need to burn that thing. So they wrap it up and they get it in the wheelbarrow outside. They think burning the body will help fix the dream issue, but they should sleep in shifts just in case. And Donna asks about Sarah, and Boyd says, well, I'll take her to the sheriff's station. And he says Christy and Mary should come too, but Christy's like, I'm not staying under the same roof as Sarah. We'll go to the colony house instead. Donna also asks Christy for some aspirin for the headache, but she doesn't have any. And Donna says, great, monster bile, but no aspirin.
Yeah,
And
it's a staple part of every medicine cabinet. Monster bile.
yeah. And Boyd tells her to try a warm compress, and she tells him to fuck right off, and they all have a little chuckle. Dun, dun, fucking Randall, always watching in the trees. So he's gonna make some things of this. Back at the car graveyard, Victor goes to his hidden pictures and he stored them in Christopher's car trunk, which I think is important. Like, he's gonna hide this away with like that bad person, right? Like,
Well,
these are bad things over here.
yeah, I think he associates it with Christopher because it's like, yeah, that was the night Christopher kind of went nuts. So everything is Christopher related that happened that night, and we're just gonna keep it all in one place. Never gonna see that car again. Never gonna see the shit that's in it.
Yeah. So they open the trunk and he starts like kind of grabbing the pictures and he freaks out. He
Mm.
Mm.
he collapses to the ground. Well, because he picks up one picture, but he collapses to the ground, and we get cuts of the memory mixed in with him digging through the pictures. So he pulls out one that has two kids, and it says Eloise, and the other kid underneath says Victor. He had a sister. We see the memory more accurately now. His mother telling him to protect his sister, and the sister is there begging for the mom not to go. And in the present, Victor keeps saying these aren't his, and Tabitha asks him what, and Victor says they were hers. And in the memory, the mother hands the crayons to Eloise, not Victor. And in the present, like, Victor is just a broken man. Like, that was a rough scene.
Mhm.
And Tabitha tries to comfort him, and in the memory, the mom leaves. And then Eloise runs after her, but Victor stays in the cellar.
This is just me being critical of TV shows in general, but like the mom left and then like Eloise ran right after her. So how did the mom not see her following her?
Yeah, I mean, maybe we had more of a pause. Like,
Maybe.
yeah. So, yeah, it's rough. Victor had completely blocked the memory of his mother or of his sister out because it was too painful. So,
Yeah.
like, and these were her drawings. These were drawings that she made. So that's why he put them away, because he didn't want to remember that he didn't protect his sister.
This
Which
poor guy has felt so much guilt.
awful. Well, now we know that like this is a place that his mom died, and this is a place that his sister died, and this is a place like this is his attachment to those people. So no wonder even if he doesn't really remember them, no wonder he doesn't want to leave.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
so So back at Colony House, Donna is walking up when Randall stops her to talk. He says he's there to apologize, and he asks to talk and say they are all in this together. I would not trust this man for
Mm-mm.
nothing.
I just wish that he had broken out into "We're all in this together" from High School Musical. Then I would have trusted him just a little bit.
The only way.
The only way he's gonna win me over is if he does like a little musical number. But no, this man is not trustworthy. No.
No. So, out away from town, Boyd and Kenny are getting ready to burn the body. They light it up. Kenny says he's so used to being scared that it became normal, but this feels different. Monsters in the forest are one thing, but dream monsters is another.
Agreed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
These people don't need more shit to be scared of. And dream monsters? Uh-uh.
I love sleep. How dare you?
Same. This would be an immediate enacting of the zombie apocalypse plan because what do you mean I can't even sleep in peace
Right?
anymore?
You're only going to get about one night out of me where I don't sleep, and you'll be
Yeah.
lucky if you get that.
And you'll want me to leave because I'm going to be a grumpy bitch afterwards.
Yeah, and I don't have things to, like, distract me, really. Like, I can't veg out on some TV or
Yeah. Oh,
anything.
God. There's no TV in Demonland. Yeah, I wouldn't last.
I gotta just, like, talk to people. Nope.
Worst nightmare.
So, Victor and Tabitha are looking through the pictures. He says he was supposed to protect his sister, but she was so scared that she ran. He feels like he should have ran after her. And Tabitha reminds him that he was just a little boy. and she sees a picture of the lighthouse and asks Victor, what is this? And he says, well, that's where my mom was headed that night to save the children locked in the tower. Well, what now? So, children, the tower that Tabitha's been dreaming of, the children that she's randomly seeing on Kui. So
Hold up.
this is some
Wait a minute.
connections. Yeah, something's happening here. Julie and Ethan and Tian Chen are locking up the diner when Boyd and Kenny walk the wheelbarrow back into town. Uh, Kenny hears the cicadas, and in that house next to the diner that used to be Sarah's, that guy that was obsessed with Nathan's coat comes running out of his house covered in blood, and he's screaming for help. Out at the RV, Jim comes up and sees the Colony House van. There is blood in the back. He walks down to the RV and he calls out for Randall, and Donna calls back to him. She is tied up to a tree with a cut on her forehead. That poor headache.
I was just gonna say, I
Yeah.
was like, I don't
Uh,
think that helped that headache.
mm-mm.
Or it did. Maybe it's just like reversed
Yeah.
and
It's that thing that, like, oh, your foot hurts, here, let me, like, pull your, let me hit you in your arm. See, now you can't feel the other thing.
right.
But, yeah, no, I think Donna is just like, Donna's like, "This is the worst day ever." Uh, and, like I said, she's tied to that tree, cut on her forehead, and Jim is just there with a knife, like, digging into another tree, like, fucking psychopath. And Jim asks Randall, like, "What the fuck?" And Randall says, "New plan." And that's the end of the episode.
We knew that Randall was a loose cannon, just doing whatever the fuck, but like not Donna. Come on, tie
Yeah,
Poor
yourself to a
Donna.
tree.
but I get why he picked Donna, but, like,
Yeah.
still.
I feel like he might be one of those people that would be so susceptible being like, "Oh, you're not willing to try it yourself? Oh, because 'cause you're a coward? Oh, okay." And then he'd be like, "Fuck, I gotta try it." Like, I feel
Yeah.
like he might be one of those guys.
Yeah, I agree. So we will see how this episode, we got a dude covered in blood, and we got Donna tied to a tree. We got a lot going into that next episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a lot to look at,
And
and,
no one can sleep. So that's
No
fun.
one is allowed.
Donna better survive. That's all I care about right now.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. Everybody, yeah, Randall could bite it, and we would be cool with that.
I would not
Donna needs
complain.
to live. Uh and we got to figure out what is up with this poem and who the three that they're taking are. Yeah,
I
there's
think
a
we have a
lot
pretty
going
good
on.
idea. Like, I think we could hypothesize that it's probably Elgin, Mary, and Kenny that's coming for.
Okay.
Yeah.
'Cause
I
they are
think
the ones
so.
that have experienced physical effects from these dreams. Well, I don't know if Mary
Mhm.
necessarily has, but, like, Kenny and Elgin for sure.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm sure we will get an answer in the next episode, though, because this is already episode 8. So we only have 9 and 10 left for season 2.
Oh, I have so many
This is
questions, not enough episodes.
Yeah, this is a lot of, like, oh, we're adding new things in, like, the last few episodes? Okay.
Let's do it, I guess. Go crazy.
Yeah.
I do feel like we're getting some answers, kind of, or we're getting some connections. I will be Jade, there are connections. Um, so we are seeing some things, like, with Victor and Tabitha and that. So hopefully we are getting some weird stuff happening, but we are also potentially getting some answers. But
Remember when theories used to just be about weather and now we have to consider signs and oh,
Right. And
dreams
sleep.
and larvae
back in the easy days, and
back in
on
the
Cooey
easy
Children.
days. On Cooey
Oh, the fucking
children
children.
and
I forgot about the
lighthouses.
children. Can the
I
children
miss
just,
my
like,
weather.
hold off for a couple episodes?
I mean, look, hey kids, I'm gonna need you to slow your roll. I got some bugs to deal with.
Exactly. We
Right.
got some other stuff. Can you just, like, calm down and wait for season 3? We'll come back to
It's
you,
it's
maybe,
possible.
but leave me alone for now.
We'll have to see what the episodes bring.
I feel like
Uh,
those kids are such a
so
big freaking thing, though. I think the
Yeah.
bugs are the red
yeah,
herring.
yeah, maybe
Maybe there's no red herring and just it's a
And
whirlwind
then
of
it's just
shitstorm
all shit storms, yeah.
all of the bad. It is
all
All
only
the
the
bad
bad.
bad.
all the time. Chaos.
Okay, well, I think we're ready to watch the next episode. Thank you all for listening to Ope, I Found a Weird Show, and we can't wait to continue recapping next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.